Hi children, I welcome you for the Soci class. In last class we have discussed about the lesson from trade to territory. The topic is Anglo-Maratha Wars. First Anglo-Maratha War 1775 to 1782. Second Anglo-Maratha War 1803 to 1805. Third Anglo-Maratha War 1817 to 1818. Fine children. I hope you understood our previous class. Today we are going to see about British administrative organization in India. It is very important topic because at present also our government are following the same this administration. Okay. So during the British period, four important principal institutions are civil services, army, police, and judiciary. So services means which will come under the IAS, IPS. These are example for civil services. Then army, who is giving the protection of border, is army. Then police and judiciary. Judiciary means judgment. Okay, so this is four important principal institutions during the British administration. So next we are going to see about civil services. So the civil services, so it will come under IAS, IPS, Indian Administrative Service. Okay, so this all called as civil services. The first time this word used by British East India Company to show the difference between civilian employees and military. Okay, civilian means who is working under IPS, IAS, they are civilian worker and military. Okay, so show the difference between civilian employees and military the first time used by British East India Company. So translating law into section and collecting revenue were the main job of the civil service. So for military, what is the work of military? So give the protection of our country is the work of military. So what is the work of the civil service means to collect the tax. Okay, to collect the tax and maintain the job is the work of civil services. And the civil services were initially is commercial in nature. Okay, so starting when it was started in that period, it is commercial purpose. What is commercial? Commercial means business purpose, but later it is a service. Okay, so Tamil Nadu Public Service Commission, so it is service. So they all, for what purpose it was originated means to serve to the people. Okay, so before it was commercial purpose, but later it's changed to service purpose. Okay, but the nominated civil servant indulged in corruption, bribery, and illegal private trade. But who's appointed the civil services? So mostly the people done corruption. Okay, corruption, bribery, so this all happened when it was started. But after Cornwallis is the governor general in 1786, he introduced more salary to the civil services. Okay, so that given the highest pay to the who is working in civil service. So Lord Wellesley, who came to India governor general in 1798, introduced the idea of suitable training for the civil servants in India. Okay, so when Lord Wellesley became the Governor General in 1798, he introduced the suitable training for the civil services, who is working in civil services. So the idea of competition for recruitment introduced first by the Charter Act 1833. Okay, so first time introduced the Charter Act. So what is called Charter Act? So it was like one of the constitution. At present we are following the constitution. In that time it is Charter Act. Okay, so they introduced Charter Act in 1833. So system of recruitment. So what is the main role of Charter Act? Means the system of recruitment, the basis of open competitive examination. It was introduced in 1853. Okay, so at present also it is open competitive exam. Anyone also who became 18 plus, okay, and have some posting alone, have some age limit. So anyone also can write the exam. It is open competitive exam. It was introduced in 1853. And this system was confirmed by the Government of India Act of 1858. Introduced in 1853, and our Indian government confirmed this Act of 1858. What is the Act? Open Competition Exam. Okay, so open competition exam is introduced in 1853 and later our government also adopted in 1858. The maximum age for competitor was fixed at 23. So what is the age of maximum age means 23. Okay, so only up to 23 they can write the exam. So in same time East India College of Aylesbury, okay, East India College also Aylesbury was abolished in 1858. They closed in 1858 and recruitment to Civil Service Commission. So after how they are recruitment the person means from the Civil Service exam. Okay, in the end Civil Service ICS exam. So by the regulation of the 1860, the maximum age was lowered to 22. Before which is the maximum age 23, but in 1860 which is the maximum age was for writing the exam means 22 and later in 1866 to 21. Okay, the maximum age is 21 and 1867 the maximum age is 19. Okay, the maximum age is 19. This is the rule of ICS exam. Okay, so Satyendranath Tagore, the elder brother of the poet Rabindranath Tagore. So you know the Rabindranath Tagore, the elder brother is Satyendranath Tagore. Is the first Indian pass the ICS examination in 1863. Okay, so what is ICS exam? Indian Civil Service. If you want to become the IAS, IPS means you should write the exam ICS, Indian Civil Service. Who is the first Indian pass the ICS exam means Satyendranath Tagore. Satyendranath Tagore was the first ICS exam. Okay. Then the Indians demanded to increase the age limit and establish center for examination in India instead of England. So which is the lowest age of the writing the exam? 19. Okay, in 1876 they changed to 19. And if you want to write the exam also, you should go in England. So they're not conducting the exam in India. We go to the England. But later in the Indian, they asked to increase the age limit and exam center also should be in India. Okay, they asked. So in 1892, the minimum age limit for appearing for the civil service examination was raised to 21. So if you want to write the exam, this is we are speaking about 1892. So the minimum age is 21 and maximum age is 23 for writing ICS, Indian Civil Service exam. Okay. So what purpose you are writing the Indian Civil Service exam? To become the collector. Okay, IAS, IPS. So this purpose you are writing the Civil Service exam. And in 1912, the Royal Commission on Public Service was appointed. So now which commission is there means at present Tamil Nadu Public Service Commission. Okay, in the Tamil Nadu level it is Tamil Nadu Public Service Commission. So like that every state also is there Public Service Commission. So in 1912, the Royal Commission on Public Service was appointed. In that time, is called as Royal Commission. Okay, Royal Commission. So the Act of 1935 also made provision for the establishment of the Federal Public Service. Okay, Federal means central government. So they started in 1935 Federal Public Service Commission. Okay, it is central level is called as Federal Public Service Commission and state level is called as State Public Service Commission. For example, Tamil Nadu Public Service Commission, TNPSC. Okay, do you understand? Then who is the chairperson of Tamil Nadu Public Service Commission? Balachandar IAS. At present, who is the chairperson of Tamil Nadu Public Service Commission? TNPSC means Balachandar IAS. Okay. Then the main aim of the measure was to serve the British interest to become base of civil service system in independent India. So what purpose they started this civil service exam means to serve to the British government. You understand? So in that purpose only they started this Indian civil services. But at present we are utilizing, so based on this Indian civil services only we are appointing the IAS, IPS. Okay, children. I hope you understood this civil services. So the concept what is civil services means, it is one of the recruitment open competitive exam. Okay, So anyone also can write the exam to become the IAS, IPS. It will come under the civil services. Next we are going to see about army. So army, it is very important to protect our country. Okay, not only our country, so all the country, it is very important as army. Okay, our Indian army also one of the biggest army. So the army was the second important pillar of the British administration in India. So the East India Company started recruiting its own army. Okay, so it came to known as Sipai. It was known as Sipai armies because soldier only they called as Sipai. So that Sipai army was trained and disciplined according to the European military standard and was commanded by European officer in the battlefield. Our Indian person also they appointed British army. Okay, but who is the head of the army means British soldiers. Only the head of the armies. At same time, another one problem is our Indian soldiers they given very less salaries and allowances than English soldier. Compared to English soldier, Indian soldier got very less salary. Okay, so you can see the strength of the British army. Battle of Plassey. So this is we discussed in previous class. After this Battle of Plassey only, British became the more political power in India. So Battle of Plassey in 1757, if you see in that time only 1950 European infantry. Infantry means soldier and 100 European artillery. Artillery means gun equipments and 50 English sailor. So sailor means navy. So they are using navy sailor and 2100 Indian Sipai soldier. So 2100 Indian Sipais. The English army of 6000 troops. Okay. So English side only the 6000 troops was maintained in Bengal, which period 1757. But after 100 year, if you see in 1857, the strength of the army in India was 3,11,400. Okay. Out of 2,65,900 were Indians. Total 3,11,400. Among them, 2,65,900 were Indians. Its officer were British. Who is the head of this army means British. Okay. So after the revolt of 1857, the important changes were made in the Indian Army services in 1858. So after this is 1857, so the Great Revolt was happened in 1857. So after 1857, so mostly they removed our Indian soldiers and they appointed the British soldiers. Okay. So next one, we are going to see about police. So police, it is very important for giving the protection of village. Okay, village, state. So this is very important for police. So when the East India Company took over the Diwani in 1765. So Diwani means so collecting the tax. Okay, collecting tax is called as Diwani. So Diwani in 1765, the Mughal police system was under the control of Faujdars. Okay, so in that period, the Mughal police system is controlled by Faujdar. So he was in Sarkar, a rural district. He called as Sarkar, a rural district. He maintained in Sarkar. Sarkar means government. Okay, a rural district. So the Kotwal were in charge of town. So what is called Kotwal? So at present we call as inspector. Okay, who is head of the police station? Inspector. So in that period is called as Kotwal. Okay, so the Kotwals were in charge of town while the village watchmen were paid and controlled by Jamindar. Okay, who is the head of the police means Kotwal and the village watchmen were paid and controlled by Jamindar. Okay, the village watchman is controlled by Jamindar and paid by Jamindar. And the police system was created by Lord Cornwallis. One mark is important. Who created the police system? Lord Cornwallis, the general of Lord Cornwallis. And he relieved the Jamindar from police function and established the regular police force in 1791. Okay, because the village watchman is controlled by Jamindar, but Lord Cornwallis removed the Jamindar system and regularly they appointed the police system in 1791. And Cornwallis established the system of circle or Thana. Thana means police station. Okay, circle or Thana means police station. So Cornwallis established the system of Thana headed by the Tarago. Tarago means at present police station headed by inspector. So like Cornwallis also established Thana. Thana means police station and headed by Tarago. Tarago means inspector. Okay children, I hope you understood. If any doubt means kindly contact my number. Then the Dargo system was extended in Madras in 1802. Okay. Then one by one they extended the Dargo system. What is Dargo system? So Dargo means a police station. They created the police station and they extended to Madras in 1802. Okay, 1802. Okay. Then if you see before the post of district superintendent of police, before the current affairs we have discussed about superintendent of police. That means IPS, Indian Police Service. So before the post of district superintendent of police was created, all the Thana were under the general supervision of the district judge. So what is called Thana? Thana means police station. Very good. Okay children. So Thana means police station. So now all the police station at present, all the police station is controlled by superintendent of police. Okay. For example, superintendent of police head of the district. Okay, so which all will come under all the police station in our Namakkal district. It is controlled by superintendent of police. Okay, IPS. Okay, children. So all Tamil Nadu police who will control means DIG. Okay, all the Tamil Nadu police department controlled by DIG. It is located in Chennai. It is located in Chennai. Okay. So before we are speaking during the British period. Okay. So before the post of district superintendent of police, who controlled means all the police station is controlled by judge. Okay, controlled by judge. In 1808, the superintendent of police was appointed for each division. Later, the district collector was entrusted with the task of controlling the police force in the district. So later, all the district they appointed the superintendent of police. So it will controlled by, so all the police station is controlled by superintendent of police. So who controlled by superintendent of police means IAS. Okay, any doubt? I think so, no doubt. Okay, so just once again I will say, if you see, who is the head of the Namakkal district? IAS. Then IAS after IPS, then one by one will come. Okay, like that, IPS control all the police station, IAS control all the superintendent of police, IPS. Okay. Next we are going to see about judicial system. Okay, who is the father of our constitution? Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. So previous class we discussed in the current affairs how many articles in our constitution? 448 articles, 25 parts and 12 schedules. So this our judicial system will come under our constitution. Okay, but in 1772 the dual government was abolished. They cancelled the dual government and directly company collected the revenue and they ruled the justice. Okay, directly the company collected the revenue and they ruled the administration of justice. Okay, then the model of the Supreme Court of Calcutta. The Supreme Court was established in Madras in 1801. Okay, and started the Supreme Court in Calcutta, and in 1801 they started the Supreme Court in Madras, and Bombay in 1823 they started the Supreme Court. Okay, which is the head of the judicial system? Supreme Court. Okay, next level is High Court. Okay, then District Court. Our High Court is located in Delhi and branches is Madurai. Same, our Supreme Court is located in New Delhi, is the capital of India. Okay, so in 1832 William Bentinck started the jury system. Jury means Panchayat system in Bengal. An Indian Law Commission was established to compile the law. After that, our Indian Law Commission. Okay, at present which is our Law Commission is established the law means Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. So like in that period also our Indian Law Commission established the compiled the law, rules and regulation. So rule of law was established for the whole empire. Okay, so according to the Indian High Court Act 1861, the 3 High Court were set up in Calcutta, Bombay and Madras, because during the British period 3 important cities Calcutta, Bombay, and Madras, the place of the old Supreme Court. Okay, they abolished the old Supreme Court, and they established the 3 new High Court in Calcutta, Bombay, and Madras. Okay. Next, Sir Elijah Mpe. Do you know? Sir Elijah Mpe was the first Chief Justice of the Supreme Court at Fort William in Bengal. Who is the first Chief Justice of the Supreme Court? Means Sir Elijah Mpe. Sir Elijah Mpe was the first Chief Justice of the Supreme Court for Fort William in Bengal. Okay. So where the Supreme Court means Fort William in Bengal. And Tamil Nadu in Chennai, Sir Thiruvarur Muthuswamy Iyer. Sir Thiruvarur Muthuswamy Iyer was the first Chief Justice of the Madras High Court. Okay. So at present, who is the Chief Justice means Bobde. Okay. At present, who is the Chief Justice means Bobde. So who is the first Chief Justice means Sir Elijah Mpe. Okay, children. So next we are going to see about subsidiary alliance. So it is very simple topic. It is one of the treaty. Okay. So like it is one of the treaty subsidiary alliance. So Lord Wellesley introduced the system of subsidiary alliance. Who introduced the subsidiary alliance means Lord Wellesley to bring the princely state. Princely state means independent state under the control of the British. So they introduced the subsidiary alliance. So it was the most effective instrument for the expansion of the British territory and political influence in India. So after introduced this subsidiary alliance, the British became a more powerful in India. Okay. Next we are going to see about main features of subsidiary alliance. So before seeing the subsidiary alliance, we should see one example. Okay. So if you are rearing any goat or buffalo. Okay. So in my amount, I want to give the protection of your buffalo, or else I want to give some territory. Territory means place. Okay, area. So I want to give some territory to you, or else I want to give the protection. I want to give the protection your buffalo is called as subsidiary alliance. Okay. So here what is called subsidiary alliance means military. So it is very important for country is military. So British military. Okay, our Indian emperor should be maintained in our own money, or else we should give some territories to the British. So this agreement is called as subsidiary alliance. Okay. So British resident would stay in this capital. Then head of the British, they are staying in their capital, our capital. Then all the non-English European officials should be turned out of this state. So except English, okay, except English, remaining all the European, we should send out our state. Okay, so this is the rule of the subsidiary alliance. And what is the merit of the subsidiary alliances? The British company maintained the large army at the expense of the Indian ruler. With our money, the British maintained more large army at the expense of our amount. The British company began to control the foreign policy of the princely state. So British company controlled our independent state. Okay, with this subsidiary alliance. Next one, we are going to see about doctrine of lapse. Okay, doctrine of lapse. So before that, which Indian state? Okay, before that, which Indian state accept the subsidiary alliance means Hyderabad in 1798 and followed by Tanjore in 1799, Ayodhya in 1801, Peshwa 1802, Bonsal 1803, Gwalior 1804, Indur 1817, Jaipur, Udaipur and Jodhpur 1818. So this all the Indian state accepted the subsidiary. So next we are going to see about doctrine of lapse. So Lord Dalhousie introduced the doctrine of lapse. Okay. So what is meaning of doctrine of lapse means if the native ruler adopted children without the permission of the company, only the personal properties. Okay. For example, you are the king of Namakkal. Okay, you didn't have any child, so that you are getting the adopted child. after your generation, okay, your child cannot become the ruler of Namakkal, only the responsibility for your property. This is called as doctrine of lapse. Okay, so it is introduced by Lord Dalhousie. So this principle was called as doctrine of lapse. So it was bitterly opposed by Indians, and it was one of the root causes for the Great Revolt of 1857. So later all the Indians against the British East India Company in 1857. So this one we are detailedly we are learn in next lesson. Okay. So this doctrinal lapse policy is annexed Satra in 1848, Jaipur and Sambalpur in 1849, Bhagat in 1850, Udaipur in 1852, Jhansi in 1853 and Nagpur in 1854. This all the Indian state adopted the doctrine of lapse. Okay. So now we are in end of the lesson from trade to territory. So Battle of Plassey was the foundation of the British dominion in India. So before we discussed, after Battle of Plassey only British became a more powerful in India. Okay. So how British became the more powerful in India means the British government supported the British East India Company. Okay. Then the great naval power, development of textile, scientific division of labor. Okay, so economic prosperity and knowledge. So this is all the reason for the British became a more powerful in India. Okay, so this British dominance in India later it is led to a South Indian rebellion. South Indian rebellion during the period is 1802 1801. Vellore rebellion 1806 and the Great Rebellion 1857. So this all rebellion, what is called rebellion? The revolt, fight, war is called as rebellion. So this all you are going to learn about in next class. Okay. Okay children, I hope you understood this session very well. So second lesson is completed from trade to territory. So first lesson you discussed advent of the European. Second lesson you discussed from trade to territory. Fine children. So only the important point alone given the slide. Okay, but while you are explaining the lesson, you are elaborately what they given the textbook. So not only textbook, more extra information also you are sharing your knowledge. Okay, so listen careful and go through the video completely. Okay, children. So next recap. In 1892, the minimum age limit for appearing the civil service examination, that means collector, okay, IPS, the minimum age, okay, is appearing in 21 and maximum age is 23. And who is the first Chief Justice of India? Sir Elijah MP is the first Chief Justice of India. And who is the Chief Justice of India? Bobde. Bobde is the Chief Justice of India. Next, answer the following. The first one, given detail about British administrative organization in India. The second one is write in detail about the subsidiary alliance. And third one is discuss the doctrine of lapse. Fine children. Next, today our current affairs is which district has the least population in Tamil Nadu? So least population means very less population in Tamil Nadu is Perambalur, as well as which district has more population in Tamil Nadu? Chennai. Okay. So today our question is which district has the least population in Tamil Nadu? Perambalur. Fine. I hope you understood this session very well. So next class we are going to see the third lesson, rural life and society. Okay. Next history third lesson we are going to discuss rural life and the society. Okay. Thank you children.